on a number of points. Listen to the conversation between your friend and the rental agent and complete the list.
First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
Hi, we've been looking over your listing of apartments for rent and we have a few questions about a couple of the apartments. Can you help us?
Sure. Yep, this is our most recent listing. What would you like to know?
Well, we were first wondering about the house on 3rd Street. We can see that it is furnished and rents for $135 a week, but can you tell us how many bedrooms it has?
Let's see. In addition to the den, it has 3 bedrooms.
The rental on 3rd Street has 3 bedrooms. So in the example, 3 bedrooms has been written down in the number of rooms column for 19 3rd Street. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hi, we've been looking over your listing of apartments for rent and we have a few questions about a couple of the apartments. Can you help us?
Sure. Yep, this is our most recent listing. What would you like to know?
Well, we were first wondering about the house on 3rd Street. We can see that it is furnished and rents for $135 a week, but can you tell us how many bedrooms it has?
Let's see. In addition to the den, it has 3 bedrooms.
What about the one on Route 9N? It looks like it's big with a library and a deck, but it doesn't say how much it costs or anything else about it.
Oh yes, Mrs. Gaylor's apartment. That one is actually only a 10-month rental and it is going for $156 per week. It's quite a nice place. She only rents for 10 months each year because of horse racing season. Then her relatives all come to stay, so tenants have to move out. It's a little bit inconvenient, but past tenants have really enjoyed their stay there.
Oh, well, we need it for a full year. I guess that one is out. How about the rental on Browen Drive? How many rooms does that one have?
As it says on the list, it has 2 bedrooms and a private kitchen and bath. But it's actually a very small place. That's why it's a bit cheaper.
Oh. Well then, what about the one that has 3 large rooms? Who is renting that property?
That one is a good deal. Mr. John Smith is renting it. But he's quite eccentric and he has a strict rule about no pets.
How about cats?
Nope, absolutely no pets.
Well then, how about this studio apartment rented by Mr. Bo Jensen? How is that one?
That ad is actually a bit deceptive. The studio apartment is the whole upper floor of an older house. It's actually very large and, at $45 a week, quite affordable. And it's near campus.
I think I'd like to check that one out. Do you have a telephone number that we can call?
It's not on the list? Oh, it isn't. Here it is. You should ring area code 518 and then 543-7790.
Thanks. I think I'll call on that one first.
Your friend decides that he would like to talk to Mr. Bo Jensen.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 8 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 8 to 10.
Hello? 1512, Route 9.
Yes, is this Mr. Jensen?
Yes, it is. Can I help you?
Yeah, we're studying here at university and we came across the rental information for the studio apartment that you are renting. Is it still available?
Yes, of course. I actually just placed the ad and you're the first person to call. Is there anything you'd like to know about it?
Yes, actually there is. As students, we are on the internet a lot, and we heard that some homes in the area have high-speed connections. What type of connection do you have there now?
Oh, that's an interesting first question. But I guess I have heard that too. But we just have a phone line here. Nothing fancy. I think you can have a cable line installed, but it's just a phone line for now.
Okay, well maybe we can do that. What type of heating does the apartment have?
Now there's a more traditional question. We have oil heat here. It's an older house.
That tends to be a little more expensive during the winter, right?
Yeah, but there's nothing to do about it. It would cost too much for me to put in a gas heater. What else would you like to know about the apartment?
Well, we heard it was quite big. Is it furnished?
Actually, yes. I should have put that in the ad. It has an old couch and a couple chairs, a dining table, refrigerator, stove, and even a dishwasher.
Does it have any beds?
Yep, it has 2.
That sounds great. When is the apartment available?
You can have it tomorrow night if you want. I just have to clean up a couple things before you get here. Do you want to come over and see it first?
No, it sounds fine to us. I actually know the street too, so I know the area. We'll take it.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
Part 2.
Listen to the conversation between the woman and the man and answer the questions.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Hello, Paraglider's Paradise. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. I'm interested in doing a course in paragliding.
Which course are you interested in?
Well, I'm not sure. What's available?
Well, we've got the introductory course, which lasts for 2 days.
Okay.
Or there's the 4-day beginner's course, which is what most people do first. I'd tend to recommend that one. And there's also the elementary pilot course, which takes 5 to 6 days depending on conditions.
We might try the beginner's course. What sort of prices are we looking at?
The introductory is $190. The beginner's course, which is probably what you'd be looking at, is $320. No, sorry, $330. It's just gone up. And the pilot course is $430.
Right.
And you also have to become a member of our club so that you're insured. That'll cost you $12 a day. Everyone has to take out insurance, you see.
Does that cover me if I break a leg?
No, I'm afraid not. It's only third party and covers you against damage to other people or their belongings, but not theft or injury. You would need to take out your own personal accident insurance.
I see. And what's the best way to get to your place? By public transport, or could we come by bike? We're pretty keen cyclists.
It's difficult by public transport, though there is a bus from Newcastle. Most people get here by car, though, 'cause we're a little off the beaten track. But you could ride here, okay? I'll send you a map. Just let me take down a few details. What's your name?
Maria Gentle.
And your address, Maria?
Well, I'm a student staying with a family in Newcastle.
So it's care of...
Care of Mr. and Mrs. McDonald.
Like the hamburgers?
Yes, exactly.
McDonald.
The post office box address is probably best. It's P.O. Box 676, Newcastle.
Is there a fax number there? Because I could fax you the information.
Yes, actually there is. It's 0249, that's for Newcastle, and then 775431.
Okay, now if you decide to do one of our courses, you'll need to book in advance and to pay when you book. How would you be paying?
By credit card, if that's okay. Do you take Visa?
Yes, fine. We take all major cards, including Visa.
Okay then. Thanks very much.
The girl is telling her friend about the course.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
Hi, Pauline.
Hi, Maria. What's that you're reading?
Just some information from a paragliding school. It looks really good fun. Do you fancy a go at paragliding?
Sure. Do you have to buy lots of equipment and stuff?
Not really. The school provides the equipment, but we'd have to take a few things along.
Such as?
Well, it says here, clothes, wear stout boots, so no sneakers or sandals, I suppose, and clothes suitable for an active day in the hills. Preferably a long-sleeve t-shirt. That's probably in case you land in the stinging nettles. It also says we should bring a packed lunch. We do not recommend soft drinks or flasks of coffee. Water is really the best thing to drink. We need to bring suntan lotion and something to protect your head from the sun.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. And where would we stay?
Well, look, they seem to operate a campsite too, because it says here that it's only $10 a day to pitch a tent. That'd be fine, wouldn't it? And that way we'd save quite a bit, because even a cheap hotel would cost money.
Or perhaps we could stay in a bed and breakfast nearby. It gives a couple of names here we could ring. I think I might prefer that. Hotels and youth hostels would all be miles away from the farm, and I don't fancy a caravan.
No, I agree. But let's take a tent and pray for good weather.
Okay, let's do it. What about next weekend?
No, I can't. I'm going on a geography field trip.
And then it's the weekend before the exams, and I really do need to study.
Okay then, let's make it the one after the exams.
Fine. We'll need a break by then. Can you ring and let me know if you can find out some...
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
अगर लिसनिंग के साथ साथ आप स्पीकिंग की भी प्रैक्टिस करना चाहते हैं तो हमारी अपनी एप्लीकेशन है बेबी कोड आइल्स, प्लीज डाउनलोड करो। ऐप स्टोर और प्ले स्टोर दोनों पे अवेलेबल है और लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में भी हमने डाल दिया है। यहाँ पे आप एआई टीचर को जितने चाहें उतनी बार स्पीकिंग टेस्ट दे सकते हो, जब चाहें तब, कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है। और अगर आप चाहते हो कि टीचर आपको आपके बैंड स्कोर बताए, आपकी मिस्टेक बताए और कैसे आप 5 बैंड से 7 बैंड इंप्रूव कर सकते हो, तो प्लीज यूज करो मेरा प्रोमो कोड IELTS50। Do not forget my promo code is IELTS50.
Now turns to part 3. Part 3.
You are going to hear a conversation between an interviewer and a professor. First, You have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen to the tape and answer questions 21 to 26.
Today I'm here with Professor Nittick, who is our new university president. He has been a professor for 20 years and teaches many of the best classes on campus. I know many of you have had him as a teacher and know of his brilliance. Good morning, Professor Nittick. Thank you for stopping by the student station.
Thank you for having me here. It is always great to get to meet many of the students who are involved with our school. I haven't been here since 2 years ago.
Yes, I remember at that time you were still teaching every semester. 2 years later, you're only teaching every once in a while. But it seems like you are still always busy. The administration world is just as busy as the teaching world for you. How do you stay in touch with the university, even with the change in your everyday duties?
I try to stay in touch with what is popular with the university students. I usually spend time with as many students as I can. They usually give me insight into what the new concerns and beliefs are for the new generation. On top of that, I try to be as youthful as I can. I consider myself to be youthful, at least for my age. So I always have a good time and try to stay young. I try my best to not just be a teacher, but also participate in university life.
Interesting. So, are you still doing lots of academic work, or are you mostly concentrating on administrative affairs?
Well, I mostly do administrative affairs now, but that doesn't mean that I still don't have a very deep interest in academic matters. I often visit other campuses around the world and meet other professors in my field. I learn the most by travelling and seeing the different places of the world and the different fields of thought. I even did a television programme last month in Manchester.
Will you be on television any time soon then?
Well, you can call the television station and see if I will be on television any time soon. Maybe I will be on the news report. I don't think it is really that significant, though.
Oh, really? That sounds great. I will remember to look out for you. Let's move on. With all your busy travelling recently, how do you find time for your personal life?
I try to keep my university life separate from my personal life. Sometimes it's hard to find time to just take my wife and 3 kids out for a family dinner, but usually we all manage to get together every few days. I'm taking a few weeks off next month to take my family down to South America, to Brazil for a few days. I can't wait to just sit on the beach.
Wow, that sounds like a wonderful trip. Professor Nittick, could you tell the audience a little about what goes on in an average day of a university administrator?
An average day? Oh, I don't think there is such thing as an average day for me. The last few weeks I've been travelling all the time. I can be in Los Angeles in the morning and in New York by the afternoon and back to Los Angeles by the evening. Sometimes I will spend the whole week at a new university, showing the new administrators the ins and outs of running a university. Sometimes I can spend the whole day in the office on the phone. So there really is no average day for me. I guess that is because I do so many different tasks. Sorry to let all the viewers down, but that is the plain truth.
Now look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the tape and answer questions 27 to 30.
Well, I guess I can sum it up for them. You are a busy man. That is probably a good description. So, are there any immediate plans for the coming few weeks?
Well, I'm in Los Angeles for the next 2 days, and then I fly to Colorado to meet a new prospective professor for our university. I will be in Colorado for about a week. Then I go to Japan for the next 10 days to meet with our university branch in Japan about record sales there. After that, I return to Los Angeles for a week, just in time for the graduation of the class of 2001. There you have it, my next month's schedule.
Thank you very much, Professor Nittick. I always enjoy having you on our show. We hope to have you back on our show next time.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
अभी तक बेबी कोड ऐप डाउनलोड नहीं की वो यहाँ पे सिर्फ स्पीकिंग लिसनिंग रीडिंग राइटिंग सारे के सारे फ्री में मॉड्यूल अवेलेबल है, वो भी लेटेस्ट कंटेक्स्ट के साथ। और तो यहाँ पे आईएलटीएस की लाइव क्लासेस भी देते हैं आईटीपी अप्रूव्ड टीचर फ्री में। तो प्लीज़ डाउनलोड करो, ट्राई करो और अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करो ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बच्चों तक ये बात पहुँच सके।
Now turns to part 4.
Part 4 section, you will hear an introductory lecture to a course on Southeast Asia.
First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
My name is Paul Stange. I'm coordinator of this course. It's called Southeast Asian Traditions. I'm also the author of the study guide and the course reader, and you should have those in front of you. As well as these, you'll need 2 textbooks for the course. There's the one by Osborne and there's another by Legg. I'll talk a bit more about the reading materials in a moment. Now, if you haven't got these materials, you can buy the textbooks at the university bookshop, and you can collect the study guide and the course reader from me on your way out of the lecture. The purpose of this lecture is simply orientation. What I'm going to do is introduce myself, talk you through the course, and give you some additional advice, apart from what's contained in the study guide, on dealing with the various assignments for the course. First of all, the materials. You'll find the 2 textbooks very clear, and they give a good basic coverage of the history of the region. Most of the reading materials in the reader are fairly easy-going, but I have to warn you that 2 of them are quite difficult. These are the readings by Smale and Bender, and of these 2, the one by Bender is perhaps the more challenging. But don't let that put you off, because understanding these 2 readings is important to help you develop a clearer understanding of the cultures. In other words, they'll help you acquire greater sensitivity to the differences between the various cultures in the region. Now, the course itself. The course has multiple aims. It's primarily a history course, but it's not only a history course. It is, in most respects, a cultural history course focusing on Southeast Asia. Nevertheless, the course is, as you'll see from the materials, an introduction to the Southeast Asian Studies component of the Asian Studies program. In looking at the cultural history of Southeast Asia, there are two major influences to be considered, the Chinese and the Indian. It's important not to forget the extensive influence that these two countries have had in the region. China has been trading throughout the region since at least the 6th century, so many of its cultural and social traditions have influenced the countries in the area, and religious practices from India have helped form today's culture. So we'll be looking for the links and the connections between traditional patterns and today's developments in the region. I think you can now begin to see how these past influences might form a background for the present-day social practices. And in the same way, this course will form a basis or background for second and third year courses, with their focus on the modern period, and in particular, the economic and political situation of the region. So, that's the outline of the course. I'd like to go on now to look at what you have to do, your assignments and so on.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
अभी तक बेबी कोड डाउनलोड नहीं की? यहाँ पे लाखों बच्चे फ्री में आइल्स क्लियर कर रहे हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ बेबी कोड आइल्स. तो लिंक इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन, ट्राई करो. डू नॉट फॉरगेट माय प्रोमो कोड IELTS50. ओके.
Hello students, welcome to Team IELTS Dream, and today we are going to do the task which is agree or disagree and related to a news media. Let's read the question. The question is, the popularity of news media often has a significant influence of people's life. कि जो न्यूज़ मीडिया की पॉपुलैरिटी है वो अक्सर उसकी जो अक्सर हैज़ आ इम्पॉर्टेंट इन्फ्लुएंस, बहुत ज़्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस करती है लोगों की ज़िंदगी को. कुछ लोगों का मानना है कि दिस टू बी अ नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट, कि जो न्यूज़ मीडिया जो प्रभावित करता है वो एक नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट है. क्या आपको भी लगता है कि नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट है? इट मीन्स आप अग्री हो. अगर आपको लगता है कि नहीं न्यूज़ मीडिया की पॉजिटिव डेवलपमेंट है तो इट मीन्स आप डिसअग्री हो. तो अपने अकॉर्डिंग आप इसमें रीजंस लिखोगे. लेट्स रीड द इंट्रोडक्शन, जिसमें हमने पैराफ्रेजिंग करनी है और थीसिस लाइन बतानी है. थीसिस लाइन होती है जिसमें हम एग्ज़ामिनर को कंफर्म करते हैं कि हम में से क्या है, अग्री हैं या डिसअग्री हैं या पार्शली अग्री हैं, तो वो चीज़ उसको पता चलती है. इट इज़ बिलीव्ड बाय फ्यू पीपल डैट द इंक्रीजिंग पॉपुलैरिटी ऑफ न्यूज़ सोर्सेज कैन ग्रेटली अफेक्ट हाउ पीपल लिव देयर लिव्स एवरी डे. ये हमने पैराफ्रेज कर दिया, मीनिंग वही है, हमने थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट सेंटेंस में लिख दिया कि कैसे जो बढ़ती हुई पॉपुलैरिटी है कैसे वो प्रभावित करती है लोगों की ज़िंदगी को, हर रोज़ की ज़िंदगी को. ठीक है, मैं कम्प्लीटली अग्री हूँ इस स्टेटमेंट से कि हाँ वो प्रभावित करती है. अग्री मीन्स मुझे भी लगता है कि ये एक नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट है. एंड दिस राइटिंग विल एक्सप्लेन रीजंस बिहाइंड दिस in the following paragraphs. Introduction is done. Let's read the body. Paragraph 1. Firstly, nowadays सबसे पहला रीज़न क्या है कि जो न्यूज़ है has moved away from traditional hard hitting journalism. ट्रेडिशनल हार्ड हिटिंग जर्नलिज्म का मीनिंग यही है कि पहले जो जर्नल्स आते थे, लेकिन आजकल वो चीज़ डिफरेंटली हो चुकी है। जर्नल्स वगैरह कोई लिखता नहीं है, डायरेक्टली वो जो कोई भी न्यूज़ है वो हमें शो करवाई जाती है। दिस इज़ मेनली बिकॉज द चैनल आर मोर बिजनेस ओरिएंटेड, कि जो आजकल के न्यूज़ चैनल है बिजनेस ओरिएंटेड, वो बिजनेस माइंडेड बन चुके हैं कि न्यूज़ चाहे कैसी भी हो हमें उससे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, हमें सिर्फ इससे बिजनेस करना है, अर्निंग करनी है। तो दे डू नॉट चेक दैट न्यूज़ इट ऑफिशियल और अनऑफिशियल, दे हैव टू अर्न गुड प्रॉफिट इन ऑर्डर टू सर्वाइव। एक तो ये रीज़न है कि आजकल वो सेल्फ ओरिएंटेड लिख सकते हो, जो न्यूज़ चैनल है सेल्फ ओरिएंटेड बन चुके हैं, और जो जर्नलिज्म वगैरह जो कि पहले लिखे जाते थे वो आजकल ऐसा नहीं होता। Additionally, 50 years ago you would have not imagined watching police car chases on the news. Therefore, people have no confidence in this medium any longer. उन्होंने बोला कि आज से 50 साल पहले हमने कभी इमेजिन भी नहीं किया था कि जो पुलिस की कार है वो चेजेस करेगी न्यूज़ से, ठीक है, न्यूज़ इज़ ऑन द न्यूज़। देयरफॉर इसलिए लोगों का कोई कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है इस न्यूज़ में, इन दिस मीडियम एनी लॉन्गर, कि न्यूज़ पर वो कॉन्फिडेंस, न्यूज़ चैनल पर वो कॉन्फिडेंट फील नहीं करते। इवन दे लाइक टू get the news from other resources like online platforms and do not follow any news channel, because आपने देखा ही होगा कि जितने भी न्यूज़ चैनल है वो फेक न्यूज़ ज़्यादा प्रोवाइड करते हैं, और अगर कोई बड़े केस वाली कोई न्यूज़ आती है तो वो उस लोगों के फेवर में जाते हैं जिन्होंने उन्हें पैसे दिए होते हैं, तो वो गलत चीज़ें रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। तो इसका मतलब ये है कि हाँ, ये नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट करता है। अगर कोई पर्सन सही है, सही का साथ दे रहा है, तो वो उसकी वो जो सच्ची बात है वो दब जाती है। तो इन दिस वे इट इज़ अ नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट। सेकेंड रीज़न कौन सा है? देयर आर थाउजेंड्स ऑफ दीज चैनल्स, बहुत सारे चैनल्स हैं, एंड देयर पॉपुलैरिटी हैज़ इंक्रीज, जिनकी पॉपुलैरिटी बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ चुकी है। द कॉम्पिटिशन इज़ गेटिंग हार्डर, कि जो कॉम्पिटिशन है वो बहुत हार्ड होता जा रहा है, क्योंकि दिन ब दिन जो न्यूज़ चैनल्स हैं वो बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं दूसरे चैनल से ज़्यादा TRP लेने में, एंड दे ऑल ट्राई टू कवर द सेम स्टोरी विच रिजल्ट इन ऑफन लॉस्ट फैक्ट्स एंड मिसलीडिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन। आपने देखा होगा अगर कोई भी ब्रेकिंग न्यूज़ आ रही होती है तो आपने 10 चैनल अगर आप चेंज कर रहे हो तो एक चैनल पर उसका जो क्यों हुई वो चीज़, उसका इंसिडेंट डिफरेंट बता रहे हैं, और वही दूसरे चैनल डिफरेंट इंसिडेंट बता रहे हैं। तो उससे क्या हो जाता है, फैक्ट लॉस हो जाता है और मिसलीड करते हैं इन्फॉर्मेशन। वो अपने चैनल पर लोगों को TRP, लोगों को अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए कुछ भी न्यूज़ लगा देते हैं, कुछ भी उसमें लिख देते हैं। तो वो एक अनऑफिशियल सी चीज़ है, जिससे क्या होता है, मिसलीड हो जाती है इन्फॉर्मेशन। जो चीज़ हो ही नहीं रही होती उसको भी वो न्यूज़ चैनल के थ्रू लोगों तक पहुंचा रहे होते हैं, तो इट मीन्स वो मिसलीड करता है। In order to beat the competition, unofficial stories are shown on the channels. Similarly कि जो स्टोरीज़ हैं ही नहीं, अनऑफिशियल्स हैं, जिसका कोई मीनिंग ही नहीं है, जो रियल लाइफ में हुई ही नहीं है, उनको वो शो करते हैं अपने कंपटीशन को बीट करने के लिए। तो ये एक ऑब्वियसली नेगेटिव डेवलपमेंट है, क्योंकि आपको करेक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन ही नहीं मिल रही। तो इन दिस वे, फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, एक एग्ज़ाम्पल ली है मर्डर केस जो कि दिल्ली में हुआ था, एक रियल टाइम एग्ज़ाम्पल है, ठीक है। आप अपनी जो अपने लोकल एरिया की न्यूज़ भी कोई भी डाल सकते हो कि ये इंसिडेंट हुआ था और उसमें ये प्रॉब्लम आई थी। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, आरुषि मर्डर केस इन न्यू दिल्ली वॉज कवर्ड बाय एवरी चैनल। कुछ मंथ के लिए उससे कवर किया गया था, हर एक चैनल पर उसकी न्यूज़ थी। इन द एंड ऑल चैनल्स हैव डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सपेक्टिव, हर एक चैनल का एक डिफरेंट व्यू पॉइंट था कि इसका रीज़न ये था, ये होना चाहिए था, वो जो होना चाहिए था, तो ये चीज़ थी। एज अ रिज़ल्ट द पब्लिक्स ओपिनियन अबाउट देम हैव चेंज्ड, उनके जो रिगार्डिंग मर्डर के रिगार्डिंग जो पब्लिक का ओपिनियन था वो चेंज हो गया, एंड दे आर नाउ कंसीडर एज एन अनऑथेंटिक सोर्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन। तो इसीलिए जो पब्लिक है आजकल, जो न्यूज़ चैनल है उसको क्या बताती है, एक अनऑथेंटिक सोर्स है, कि एक अच्छा सोर्स नहीं है, एक ठीक ठाक सा सोर्स है ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन और न्यूज़ का। क्योंकि न्यूज़ चैनल्स मीन्स हमें ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करना जो एक रियल लाइफ में एग्जिस्ट करती है। लेकिन अगर आप बिजनेस पर्सपेक्टिव के कारण कुछ भी लोगों को सर्व कर रहे हो इंफॉर्मेशन के नाम पर, तो वो पब्लिक बेवकूफ़ नहीं है कि वो उससे समझ नहीं आएगा। तो ये एक नेगेटिव इन्फ्लुएंस है न्यूज़ चैनल का हमारी लिव्स पर। क्योंकि कुछ हमें, आपने देखा होगा जब भी हम न्यूज़ चैनल लगाते हैं तो हम हर किसी के मुंह से यही निकलता है कि ये तो झूठ बोल रहे हैं, ये किसी से मिले हुए हैं, इन्होंने इससे पैसे लिए होंगे। तो ये बातें आम आपने सुनी होगी। तो ये चीज़ है कि उनकी जो रेपुटेशन है वो पब्लिक की नज़रों में ख़राब हो चुकी है। तो ये, और पब्लिक को गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलती है, तो ये एक नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट है। ठीक है, लेट्स रीड द कंक्लूजन। द गवर्नमेंट शुड टेक स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन, कि उसे एक स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन लेना चाहिए इन न्यूज़ चैनल पर टू मिटिगेट द इश्यूज एज वेल एज सिटीजन। मिटिगेट मीन्स रिड्यूस करना, एंड जो सिटीजन है उसको भी रीचेक करना चाहिए इन्फॉर्मेशन को, एंड नॉट फॉलो देम ब्लाइंडली। और उन्हें जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है उसको ब्लाइंडली फॉलो नहीं करना चाहिए, और इवन ना ही उस न्यूज़ को स्प्रेड करना चाहिए। कई बार ऐसा हो जाता है कि अगर कोई न्यूज़ चैनल से गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल रही है तो हमारी आदत होती है कि हम वही चीज़ हमारे रिलेटिव्स और फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर कर देते हैं, तो जो एक बिल्कुल भी सही चीज़ नहीं है। क्योंकि अगर वो गलत न्यूज़ वायरल होगी, स्प्रेड होगी पूरी कंट्री में, तो उसके नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट्स पड़ सकते हैं। तो ये चीज़ है कि लोगों को भी ब्लाइंडली कोई भी चीज़ फॉलो नहीं करनी चाहिए, और जो भी उन्हें इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल रही है उसे रीचेक करना चाहिए। उन्होंने न्यूज़ चैनल पर देखा है, ठीक है, नेक्स्ट डे उन्हें न्यूज़पेपर में अगर वही न्यूज़ मिल रही है तो इट मीन्स ये कुछ हद तक ऑफिशियल हो सकती है, और उन्हें ऑनलाइन भी सेम चीज़ चेक करनी चाहिए। तो मीन उसका जो एक सही इन्फॉर्मेशन उन्हें मिल सकती है। तो इसमें हम कम्प्लीटली अग्री गए हैं कि हाँ, जो न्यूज़ चैनल्स हैं उसका हमारी लिव्स पर नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट ही पड़ रहा है। क्योंकि एक तो ये गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, और दूसरा जो बिजनेस ओरिएंटेड की तरफ इनका ज़्यादा ठहराव है, वो उन लोगों को ही प्रमोट करते हैं जो उन्हें हैफ्टी अमाउंट पे करते हैं, ताजो वो अपना जो पर्सपेक्टिव है, गलत पर्सपेक्टिव है, लोगों के सामने शो करा सकें, और हम अपने जो कोई भी केस चल रहा है उसमें वो सेफ़ हो जाएं। तो ये चीज़ है कि इसका नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट है। जो सही पर्सन है उसको एक तो इन्फॉर्मेशन गलत मिल रही है, और सेकंड उसको जो हम बोल सकते हैं जस्टिस वो भी नहीं मिल पा रहा। तो दिस इज़ इट फॉर टुडे। ठीक है, न्यूज़ के रिलेटेड था कि न्यूज़ चैनल का नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट है, तो हमने बताया कि हाँ नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट है, हम कम्प्लीटली एग्री गए हैं। तो हमने पूरे एक्सप्लेन किया है विद एग्जांपल, एंड कंक्लूजन में भी बताया कि लोगों को ब्लाइंडली फॉलो नहीं करना चाहिए, और गवर्नमेंट को भी क्या करना चाहिए कि ये चीज़ रीचेक, इसके अगेंस्ट एक्शन लेने चाहिए। ठीक है, तो ये था हमारा आज का टास्क। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो, होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस।